What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And today I'm going to do something a little different. It seems like I say that every video, doesn't it? Maybe I should add it and put it on t-shirts. But today I'm going to do something a little different because today it's going to be me reacting to a reaction of a reaction. So it's kind of like an Inception type of deal. But see, the thing is, I just heard about this. I know I'm a little late to the party, but Asmongold, he's a famous YouTuber. He's got probably like 4 or something million subscribers, something crazy. It's something obscene. I know it's obscene. It might be like 60 million for all I know, but I know it's obscene. Long story short, he basically did a reaction video on Melonie Mac, who I really like a lot. I mean, Melonie is the type of person that, from what I've seen, I don't know her personally. I've never spoken to her, but I've watched a lot of her content. She seems like, honestly, like if you were looking for like a gamer girl type of, to go out with or whatever, man, you gotta wifey up the shit out of Melonie Mac, dude. If that's what you're looking for, Melonie is the real deal gamer girl. She plays games. She doesn't conform to this bullshit feminism that male bad, women good. She's the real deal, man. She's an honest to God good person. At least she seems like a good person, and I can't say enough about her. I respect the hell out of her. Asmongold, I don't know that much about. I hear he's maybe left leaning. Maybe he's a moderate, left leaning moderate. I don't know. And when I say these left leaning, right leaning things, remember, you could be a fiscal conservative but be socially somewhat liberal like I am, because I believe in the legalization of drugs. I know that that's kind of like a lot of people take a double take when I say that, but I believe in the legalization of all drugs, and see it as a way that the government can make money and tax it and ensure its pathway of safety. Now, whether that's moral or not, that's a different story. But I'm open to the idea. I think it's a good one. So but am I still a conservative at the end of the day? Yeah, I'm a conservative. I just happen to have some libertarian bents. Now, Asmongold, I hear, is totally social, liberal, and I hear he's an economic liberal, but kind of a moderate. So we'll see. Maybe he's what Democrats were 60 years ago before they went crazy.
Oh, this girl. I guess I should talk about this. This girl got suspended on Twitch. This was hinged? No. We'll listen to what she says.
That sin is not an identity. And LGBT is not an identity. It's not real. It is all sin that goes against God's design. So society has called this sin an identity to normalize it. Andrew Rob, thank you so much. 10 gifted cake subs. Thank you. But yeah, the concept of sexualities isn't real. There is what God designed, which is a husband and a wife, and then there's sin. That is it. The whole notion and concept of, oh, everybody has different sexualities, that was designed to normalize sin. And that's also
Again, as I like to do, all cards on the table. Like I said, I like Melonie. I think she's awesome. This is not. Some people are going to recoil at this. Some people are going to immediately be taken aback at this. Here's the thing. She's not saying anything that is crazy to a normal Christian. And by normal Christian, I mean Orthodox Christian, the type of Christianity that was invented before 2024, 2020, you know what I'm saying? The type of Christianity that basically lets everything fly and everything's all good, and God just wants you to have, like an experience at Berkeley and just have all the drugs and all the sex that you can have without, weddings. You know what I'm saying? Like,
slippery slope because of pervs out there who I have to be careful with.
The implication of what she's saying is that if you're okay with gay people, then some people that are pedophiles will try to touch kids.
Hold up, what? Because I was writing something down, and I'm sorry that I was writing something down. The thing is that I wanted to touch on that later, the slippery slope. But what did he just say?
Of what she's saying is that if you're okay with gay people, then some people that are pedophiles will try to touch kids.
I am so sick and tired of hearing liberals, leftists, whatever it might be, saying that, number one, I guess I'll touch on it now, and I might as well just cross it off my list. I am so sick and tired of people saying that the slippery slope isn't real. Take it from me. I'm a conservative, like I always say. I didn't believe in the slippery slope. I always said, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? They're not going to go crazy with it. And by they, I mean the LGBT, QIA plus community. The alphabet community. And I don't mean law enforcement. The alphabet community are not... I thought they were never going to be unreasonable. They were never going to do anything, that willingly will hurt a kid. I never thought that. It never entered my mind that a gay guy would be more, apt to rape a child. And I'm not saying they are, but because even to this day, I think that gay people should be allowed to adopt kids because we need them to, frankly. We've got too many people, too many kids, and not enough adopted parents. We need them. That's just a fact. But this slippery slope argument, back then, like I said, I didn't agree. I was wrong. Look at where we are now. Imagine if back then we would have just pumped the brakes and put, you know what? Even if marriage was legalized for everyone, it would, imagine if we would have made it hard stop, like hard limits on that, to avoid, transvestite or transsexual, whatever, happy hour with the kids. We don't need reading Rainbow with a transsexual so that then my 4-year-old or my 7-year-old, which, is something I have, a 7-year-old, my 7-year-old come up to me and ask me what, why is the man dressed like a woman? Because she's not going to understand that. I'm sorry, she's not. Some 7-year-olds are not going to understand that. And the ones that do, you just took a lot of innocence away from that child. The one that you do, you just took a lot of innocence away from that child. Because now, they're going to be thinking, wait a second. People grow up to be other sexes?
That's what she's saying.
That's not what she's saying.
We know the slippery slope. We know exactly what she's implying.
No.
That's what she's saying.
That's not what she's saying, you dumb fuck.
How
Sorry.
I phrase things because of, social media censorship, YouTube censorship. But just think about it. People can, whenever this whole idea
doesn't
of,
bother me.
yeah,
I'll say it.
different sexualities. Well, that's a big umbrella term. And
I insulted this guy and I shouldn't have done that. And I apologize, but it gets me heated when people say, that's what she's saying, when that's not what she's saying. If that's what she was saying, I would say that's what she's saying, and it's kind of banged up. Maybe, maybe the science is there that it leads to it, 100 years down the line, maybe the science will say that it doesn't. I don't know. Science is not there yet. What I can tell you is that science can't differentiate between a gay person and a straight person. So the implication that it's biological in nature, it's kind of not there.
people can apply that to...
What are you talking about? People get mad at me? Look this up. This is an extremely common line of argumentation. This is extremely, extremely common. Anybody who's been following this discourse over the last 15 years will agree with me.
No.
If you just started paying...
If they're on your side, they'll agree with you. But the reality is they're not going to agree with you because what you're doing is the extremely common line of argument. She says this. That's the straw man. She's not saying that.
attention to this stuff and, you know, you're 19 or something like that in the chat, you probably don't get the context of it.
Worse and worse and worse things, like
But yes,
unspeakable things.
absolutely.
Let's just say for the purpose of YouTube, all things, like unspeakable things. Umbrella term, and people can apply that to worse and worse and worse things, like unspeakable things. Let's just say.
So this, again, you see what she's implying, right? She's implying that because you're born with your sexuality, then anything that you're born with is okay. Well, this is clearly not true, and nobody really thinks this.
Here's my challenge to you, Asmongold. Prove to me that people are born gay. Because you're holding it as an absolute logical truth. If that's the truth, then it can be questioned and it can be proven. Prove to me that sexuality is 100% biological. Hell, prove to me it's 60% biological, 50% biological. Prove to me that. It can't be proven. Okay? Yes, I think now she has definitely implied what you're saying. But can you prove otherwise? Because the reality is we don't know. And that's where I think she's coming from at this point. She's making it obvious that she's not holding it as an airtight position.
There are plenty of things that people are born with that, for example, they can't do. Like if you're born blind, you probably can't get a driver's license. So just because you're born a certain way doesn't mean society has to accommodate it. That's never how things have worked. It's such a crazy thing to say. In Canada, you can?
What?
There's no way, right? There's no way that's true, right? No, he's dumb. Okay, all right, good. I mean, it's Canada, so like, I don't know, but all right.
For the purpose of YouTube, I'll just say like animals, for example. People can say, well, that's my
You see what she's implying.
sexuality, like they're attracted to dogs like that or something.
Yeah, but the dog didn't consent. That's the difference. Like, it's so crazy to me that how do you not understand the...
According to some leftists like Cenk Uygur, you know, you should be able to have sex with animals as long as the animal's consenting, so...
difference between...
But the slippery slope isn't real, right, guys?
Consenting adults and not. Like, I don't... How is it possible that people still can't figure this out? It's
Right.
nuts.
Right? So that's why I don't know, it just hit me today. It hit me, I felt it in my spirit. Sexualities aren't real. It's
I wonder what these people would do if an actual theocracy took over. Guys, who here is enough of a fucking boomer to remember the satanic panic with Pokemon? So what happens whenever the theocracy takes over? And
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm definitely a lot older than Asmongold, and I can tell you right now, I don't remember no satanic panic with the Pokemon. Do you guys? I remember satanic panic with D&D, and I was a part of that satanic panic. But Dungeons and Dragons is not Pokemon, you know. Now, you want to talk about satanic panic in like a more broad sense, like, oh, you know, the conservatives were trying to ban it or whatever. I remember Pokemon. I mean, I'm sorry, not Pokemon. I remember Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that. But Pokemon? I don't remember that.
they just decide to burn her for being a witch that supports witchcraft and monsters. Why not? I mean, you want to run things based off the Bible.
What a disingenuous... You know, I gotta tell you something. I hate it when people who obviously hold disdain for the Bible, for all types of beliefs that are spiritual or religious in nature, I hate it when you guys try to act like you're arguing from a point of authority. Where is your point of authority? You hate the book. You hate everything it stands for. It's obvious that you hate it. You hold contempt for the people that follow these religions. How are you really going to act like you know better than the people that practice this religion, the people that read this Bible? How many times have real Christians gone through their Bible? At least a few times, right? Most real Christians, I would say, at least a few times. So you're gonna tell me that you know it because you probably took your talking points from an ass hat, tweet on Twitter? Come on, man.
You want to make decisions based off what the Bible and what these books that are thousands of years old think to do, go on ahead. But the idea that a girl like this, with tattoos all over her, that is wearing a low-cut t-shirt...
Whoa, 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 whoa. First off, I had apologized for insulting this guy. I take it right back. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. For starters, I've got tattoos. So what? If you don't have tattoos, you're somehow morally superior to me? And that's a low-cut t-shirt, bro? Really? With the stuff that I've seen leftists wear on TikTok and on Twitch and on all those services just to get, people to subscribe to their OnlyFans? Get out of here. Because I'll tell you something. The people that are on whether it's male or female or whatever else in between that you guys, want to say exists, those people on OnlyFans, I promise you, most of them are not real Christians. Because real Christians would really have to be, to the point desperate to get on OnlyFans and do that. Because they know that that's against God. And that should be something that is common knowledge. But whatever, we'll keep going. But again, fuck you, Asmongold, for saying that shit. You're framing her basically saying that she's not a legitimate viewpoint. She doesn't have a legitimate viewpoint because she's what, some sort of whore or something? Fuck you, dude.
With what's considered to be a demon by some people that are religious, she somehow thinks that she's going to be living in a utopia if there's a theocracy. She is so delusional and out of her fucking mind. It is amazing to me. I wish people like this, we could get together and do a GoFundMe to send them to the most religiously restrictive country in the world. And then they can stay there and they'll be happy. Send them to the Taliban. Send them to ISIS.
Holy shit. Holy shit. So now Christians are the Taliban. And we're ISIS. We're terrorists now. So because we have our established system that has been there for almost 2,000 years of Christianity, now we're all terrorists. Guess what? The Muslims that they love to be pandered to, the left loves pandering to the Muslims and to all the other minorities in this country. Guess what? Muslims hate homosexuality. They would kill a homosexual. And those tend to be the most theocratic nations on the planet. Look at Iran. Look at that's the problem that we're having right now with Palestine. We don't have problem with the Palestinians. We have problem with Hamas that's there. But do you really expect this idiot? How old is this guy? 30 at best, probably. You really expect this guy to have any type of idea of nuance? No, he just compared Christians to a bunch of terrorists, bro.
And then maybe they'll understand why things are the way they are. Did she say she wanted a theocracy? I think that's clearly what you're implying. Whenever you are implying that some things should not be accepted socially, you are also implying that those things should not be accepted through the laws, because the laws and the social norms of a society are a feedback loop of each other.
Except they're not. And anybody with common sense would just say that that's bullshit and point that out. But this guy, he's not going to be questioned on his channel, and I'm sure that he probably would ban dissent because that's what the left does. Let me explain something to you. For starters, she's not calling for a theocratic nation. But this country, the United States, was founded on Judeo-Christian values. That's just a fact. Even Vivek Ramaswamy said this. As a Hindu, he said this on stage on one of the debates. This was founded on Judeo-Christian values. It was not meant to be a religious country. But they definitely, the framers, they had all of that in mind when they started.
And so, yes, I think that's exactly what she would say. I think that if you asked a girl like this, you asked her, do you...
A girl like this? Maybe I'm a little oversensitive right now after that low cut and the tattoos and shit. But a girl like this? That sounds a little wrong to my ears after hearing that low cut, comment and the tattoo comment that he made.
Do you want to have religion play a bigger part in government? I think she'd probably say yeah.
No.
I do. And
No.
also...
You don't believe that.
She lives in a society where she doesn't get harassed and attacked for the way that she behaves and dresses.
Again with the
so
dresses?
It's easy for her to say this.
Fuck you, bro.
I talked to girls that have grown up in countries like, for example, Turkey, where they were body shamed by their own family members for wearing shorts. Physically.
What's the main demographic in terms of religion in Turkey? I'll wait.
Shamed as well. And she has the privilege of living in a country where that doesn't happen. And she wants to pull the ladder up and take that privilege away from other people. We've worked very hard to get where we're at. And it's disappointing that so many regressive people like this are trying to bring us back into the dark ages.
Regressive, he says.
That's what I think.
Well, you're an idiot. That's what I think.
Devil May Cry. Oh, yeah. I think this is the Devil May Cry, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Devil May Cry. I'm sure another favorite of... another favorite...
I've never watched this video, but I'm sure what's coming is going to be absolutely stupid as hell.
Of all of the most religious people. It's Dante. Right. Oh my God. She wants it to be less liberal, not become a dark age?
So, because she's Christian, she can't play Devil May Cry. Do you see the level of infantile arguments that we're dealing with here? Do you see it?
The moment that you restrict what adults can do with other consenting adults is the moment that the dark age begins. And also, that's always the way things start. Yeah, who decides what's less liberal? And this is the problem that people have, is they always think about it from that perspective. Incest? I don't know what the incest laws are everywhere. I have no idea. Maybe we have some...
What are you going to say? Incest is okay?
We won't make that joke, okay? I was going to...
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. Cocaine and heroin? I would... actually, like, if you want me to be totally honest, yeah, I would make it to where being a drug addict is legal. I would. Because drug addiction is you're a victim of drug addiction. And I would make it to where it was legal. And that way they could be treated as victims rather than criminals. I also think...
I just agreed with an absolute moron. Oh, man. That sucks, dude. My position on legalize all drugs now seems a little bit dumber just by benefit of him agreeing with it.
I think that you no longer become a consenting adult whenever you introduce a chemical addiction, especially one that's...
In other words, you have absolutely no responsibility whatsoever after you take that first hit. You have no responsibility whatsoever in your life. You have no ownership, no accountability of any of your actions. These are the people making these arguments. And the saddest part about it is that this asshat has millions upon millions of subscribers. And he's got such a large audience, such a large voice. And most of them are impressionable youth who are not going to be hearing voices from the other side of the aisle that have more common sense to spout. They're not going to hear it. So by the time they're adults, they're voting incorrectly. And I'm sorry, but if you vote for a Catholic that is pro-abortion, you're voting incorrectly because that guy doesn't even know what he is. You can't be a Catholic and be pro-abortion. Sorry, you can't do it. It doesn't work that way. Okay? It just doesn't work that way. because those ideas are at opposite ends of the spectrum, opposite extremes. So here we are in a position where this guy is making arguments that are not from any side of merit whatsoever. So by the time his audience grows up and they can vote, they vote for the wrong people. And then on top of that, they hear people like me and they say, oh, this guy's an alt-right, white Nazi. They won't say that I'm 100% Cuban, as an example. They won't say anything about my upbringing. They won't say anything about how I worked and busted my butt to basically get to where I am, how my wife busted her ass to get to where she is. They won't say any of that. They'll just say that I'm white. And I must have been born, and because I was white, I was born in a place of privilege.
As strong as something like heroin or fentanyl. Now, obviously, like, there's a certain level of chemical addiction with, for example, like caffeine or sugar, but to compare that with heroin is like, it's not really the same thing. It's a completely different universe. So, yeah. Either way, the girl got suspended for this, and it's very sad to see people that, it's like, I'm not really even sure how to explain the best perspective for this.
Oh boy, here we go.
But it's just very odd for me to see people. It's like a fish that lives in water complaining about a sea. It's like, you don't even understand.
What? Guys, do me a favor. If you know what the hell he's trying to say with this analogy, please try to explain it to me, because I don't get it.
And where you are. You don't understand the existence that you live in. Like, if things were the way that the people that wanted things, the way that she wanted people to be empowered.
Never mind. I understand now. He's basically saying Melonie is not intelligent enough to think for herself, and that she doesn't know anything about the world around her. He doesn't know anything about Melonie Mac, other than the fact that she's a Christian. Unbelievable. So it immediately makes me wonder, does Asmongold think this of all Christians? Makes you wonder.
Power. If it was the way that they wanted them to be, she wouldn't be able to do this. That's it. It's out of touch. And it's crazy how out of touch some people are. Crazy how many comments agree with her, actually. There's a lot of people that agree with her because LGBT representation feels artificial in our culture, and so people are pushing back against it. I don't think that most people actually care about whether somebody's gay or not. They're just fighting a culture war against artificial LGBT representation. So, unfortunately, you throw the baby out with the bathwater, and you're also fighting against just common gay rights that I think most normal, rational people agree with. And also, you have to keep in mind that I have a global audience. There are a lot of people that watch me from America and Western countries, but there's also a lot of guys that watch me from Middle Eastern countries too. And over there, what her opinion is, that's the fucking law.
Mm-hmm.
And if I went over there, I would respect their laws. They can do what they want to do.
Because you're a pussy? Because you're saying that she has her beliefs and she's an idiot for having them and she's allowed to have them, but you're such a pussy that your ideas don't stand up to scrutiny, and you don't see kind of the disconnect there between preaching homosexuality being widely accepted and basically the law of the land. But if you went over there, it wouldn't matter, because now the law of the land is homosexuality is wrong. So you don't stand up for your principles. So I thought I had lost respect. I don't know you. I've never met you, never spoken with you. I don't know much about you, other than the fact that you're extremely successful and you play a lot of video games, etc., etc., etc. But I had lost a lot of respect for you because of the clothing and tattoo comments. But now you're going to make this argument too, where you're not going to even stand up for your own principles? Wow.
It's their right. It's crazy. Decently familiar with the content, which she's definitely not saying people shouldn't be allowed to be gay or whatever. Just that she should be allowed to not like it. Talks about it a lot. you can like and not like anything that you want, and you don't have to justify your opinions to anyone.
That's
But
true.
when you put your perspective out there in the public space and you're advocating for a certain perspective in life, you should expect that other people will evaluate that perspective and think about it for themselves. I'm not saying that she isn't allowed to have her opinion. If she wants to hate gay people, that's her right to hate gay people.
Wait a second. At no time did she say she hated gay people. Once again, you are misrepresenting what she said, and once again, you're creating another straw man. She never said she hated gay people. Her position was never one of hatred of gays or homosexuality or anything other than, it's just not biblically accepted. That's all she's saying. And you took that to mean, oh, she's comparing it to pedophilia, and she obviously wants these, gay people rounded up in buses, basically, and put in concentration camps, or even worse. I don't know what it is exactly that you're saying anymore, because you're so over the all over the place. So basically, because she disagrees with homosexuality, she hates them. But see, here's the problem with that. And I don't know what the hell to call you, so because I hate saying Asmongold every time. Sounds way too proper and formal at this point, especially after the fact that you wanted to throw away you wanted to throw poor Melonie under the bus and insult her the way you have. But let me explain something to you. People disagree with me all day long. My wife disagrees with me sometimes, a lot of the times. Okay, does that mean that she hates me? People disagree with me on the left all over the place. Does that mean they hate me too? So just because we have a disagreement on ideas, you automatically that equals hatred? And this is what we have, at least in America. I don't have a global audience, but at least in America, that's what we have right now. And the division is going on, and the tribalism is exactly that. You disagree with my ideas, you must be bad. Therefore, I hate you.
But if she wants to talk about why she hates gay people and why it's justify it, then it is absolutely my right, especially in a public space, to say that I think that she's wrong. She doesn't hate gay people. Sorry. What's the word for it? Dislikes their lifestyle, whatever you want to say. But is it bannable? I don't know. I mean, whether Twitch, I think that people should be allowed to say what they want to say unless they're calling for violence. Whether Twitch should ban something like this or not, I don't really care about it a whole lot. And in my opinion, I actually wish that they didn't ban this stuff as much, because I think that sunlight is the best disinfectant.
I've said that a million times. I actually agree with that, and I actually agree with the artificial LGBT comment that he alluded to earlier. But the sunlight here has not actually shown anything ugly. At least not a Melonie Mac. I honestly can't speak to that about you, Mr. Asmon.
I think that the more people see what people like this are talking about, and they see the transparent double standards that exist in the things that they say, I think that that actually helps way more than banning people. And I think that a great example of that is COVID. Like,
it's really funny he wants to talk about a double standard, but he won't even keep up his principles if he went to a country that outlawed homosexuality.
There are a lot of just total misinformation things that people said about COVID, but because some things that people said, or whenever people expressed a certain level of distrust for the official narrative and then they got deplatformed, people started actually believing the real disinformation and the real fake information. And the reason for that is because people don't want to be told. I think in our society, people don't want to be told what they can and can't hear. They don't want to be told what they can and can't think. They want to be presented with what the options are and then choose for those options what they want to believe in. It's totally fine for her to be religious and have whatever opinions that she wants, but the moment that you go and you introduce those opinions to a public space and you have these just absolutely just transparently bullshit contradictions, people are going to call them out and they're going to disagree with you. I would say her comment was taken out of context by a lot of people. She's religious, and for religious people, the LGBT community is a sin. But she, a long time ago, told me that she doesn't hate, and as a religious person, should not hate other people. I disagree. I would believe that if she didn't make the argument that being okay with being gay leads to being okay with being a pedophile, which is clearly what she made. It's clearly what she was alluding to. She didn't want to say it because of censorship. Guys, I say a lot of really bad stuff all the time. I don't have a problem with it. Wait, she said that? She clearly implied that. Any reasonable person could see this and see that she implied it.
Guys, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I know that I'm going to be watching a lot less Asmongold content, because this guy's a complete asshat, dude. What an asshat. To attack a female like that, and to disrespect her, and it's such a punching down move too. What an asshat. What an absolute asshat, dude. Well, you might disagree with me though. Maybe I'm the asshat. Am I the asshole? You let me know. Guys, I would really appreciate if you join the flock. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all that good social media stuff. It really helps out the channel. Really helps me out. Helps me grow the channel. And that means the world to me and my family. Anything you could do, really appreciate it. Regardless though, you hung out with me for over half an hour. That means that you really, really, really either were gelling with what I was saying, or you just wanted to hang out for a while. Either way, thank you so much for staying. Be safe, be good to one another, and stay based.